Arnaz was born Desiderio Alberto Arnaz y de Atra on March 2, 1917 in Santiago, Cuba, but his family decamped to Miami early in his life. His first career was in music, where he worked under band leader Xavier Cugat. Arnaz eventually launched his own band, which is credited with starting the conga line craze in the U.S. From there, he moved to the Broadway show Too Many Girls, later joining the movie version, where he met Lucille Ball. The two went on to create one of TV's first sitcoms in 1951, as Arnaz played bandleader Ricky Ricardo, who had a regular gig at the Tropicana nightclub. He parlayed the role into the real-life hit single Babalu. I Love Lucy became a CTV for the early days of the medium, and is still in reruns today. Arnaz was a show producer and a key to its high production values. The show ended in 1957, and the couple divorced in 1960. Arnaz died in 1986. Google said in a statement that Arnaz was a trailblazer in the American television industry. Here's to Desi Arnaz, whose beaming joy and laughter continues to bring delight to living rooms and viewers around the globe, Google said. Children Lucy Arnaz Luckenbill and Desi Arnaz, Jr., the offspring of Desi and Lucy, said in the statement that they are thrilled that Google is honoring their father. We are so proud that he is being recognized for his talent and his gifts of entertainment. Desiderio Alberto Arnaz III was a one-of-a-kind innovator and trailblazer, and we wish he could have lived to see this special acknowledgement of the lasting contributions he gave to the world. The statement said, Google Doodle celebrates I Love Lucy actor and sitcom pioneer Desi Arnaz. The March 2, 2019 Google Doodle celebrates Cuban musician and I Love Lucy actor Desi Arnaz. Google. Lucy, I'm home, is one of the most recognizable lines from one of the greatest comedies in television history. Delivered by Cuban musician and actor Desi Arnaz in his role of Ricky Ricardo in the 1950s sitcom I Love Lucy. Today, Google is honoring his 102nd birthday, celebrating his life and legacy with a Google Doodle. Arnaz, most famous as comedic actress Lucille Ball's real-life and on-screen husband on I Love Lucy, is considered to be a Hollywood trailblazer who pioneered the development of sitcoms with a multi-camera setup which would later become a standard, using film and bringing in a live studio audience. He and Ball are also credited as the inventors of the syndicated rerun, which they introduced with the I Love Lucy series. The sitcom at one point during its original run had 44 million viewers. Almost 70 years since its 1951 debut, I Love Lucy can still be seen around the world in over 40 countries and in dozens of languages, with an estimated 40 million daily viewers. And to think that the couple had a hard time initially selling the show. Arnaz's thick accent was a turn-off for executives, who thought audiences wouldn't buy that Ball could be Arnaz's wife, although they were indeed married in real life. The showbiz couple believed so much in the potential of their sitcom, that they produced a pilot with their own money, creating one of the most iconic and popular shows in television in the world. As part of their production deal, Arnaz and Ball retained all rights to the content, which enabled them to sell the series into syndication. Arnaz and Ball founded the Desilu production company, through which they produced I Love Lucy, as well as a number of other shows, including the first season of Mission Impossible, and co-produced The Untouchables and Season 1 of Star Trek. Born in Cuba, Arnaz immigrated to the United States in 1933 as a 16-year-old, determined to become a musician. He landed a role in a 1939 Broadway production that was made into a film, where he met Ball. The couple, who had 2 children, Lucy and Desi, Jr., divorced in 1960. Diagnosed with lung cancer, Arnaz died in 1986. As his family, we have wonderful memories of him as a dad and a grandpa. At home, he was a great cook and entertainer. He loved to create laughter and filled our home with music and fun. He loved spending time with us in the pool and showing us each and every sunset. Wherever we went, he was the leader and we were his band. But he also had his personal struggles. Because of pains too deep to reach, he struggled with alcohol addiction later in life and a love of cigarillos, which eventually caused him to leave us way too soon. He lived life with enormous passion. He was incredibly generous. He was likable. He was fallible. He was human, shared his children Lucie Arnaz, Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, Jr. We are so proud that he is being recognized for his talent and his gifts of entertainment. Desiderio Alberto Arnaz III was a one-of-a-kind innovator and trailblazer, and we wish he could have lived to see this special acknowledgement of the lasting contributions he gave to the world. The Desi Arnaz Google Doodle can be seen in Cuba, the United States, Argentina, Bulgaria, Chile, Israel and Peru. There's also a comprehensive exhibit of the works of Desi Arnaz in Google Arts and Culture. For those who missed the Google Doodle on his birthday, it continues to live in the Google Doodle archive. Google honors actor, singer Desi Arnaz with Doodle. Born Desiderio Alberto Arnaz III in Santiago, Cuba, where he spent his childhood, the artist immigrated to America at a young age. Although he didn't have much money when he moved to the U.S., he was determined to become a successful musician. He eventually landed a role in the 1939 Broadway production Too Many Girls and later starred in the film adaptation of the play, meeting his future first wife Lucille Ball on the set. In 1950, he and Ball pitched the idea for I Love Lucy to CBS. While network executives initially feared Arnaz's accent would affect his credibility as Ball's husband, the couple produced a pilot with their own money and ultimately gained full support from the network. I Love Lucy ran from 1951 to 1957, becoming the most popular TV show in America for 4 of its 6 primetime seasons. In 1956, Arnaz won a Golden Globe for Best Television Achievement, and in 1960, he earned 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for his contributions in television and film. Arnaz died in 1986 at age 69 of lung cancer. Since his death, museums and movies have been dedicated to him. Now Google is paying tribute. Check out the Doodle archive to see their animation. Desi Arnaz. The Cuban-born entertainer is being honored for helping reshape sitcom TV as we know it today. If you watched TV during the 1950s, 60s or 70s, you'll immediately recognize the source of the phrase, "Hey, Lucy, you got some splaining to do." Those words were uttered, frequently, on the 50s American TV sitcom I Love Lucy by Ricky Ricardo, portrayed by Desi Arnaz. Ricardo was the TV husband of Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo, and Arnaz was real-world hubby to the actress who played her, Lucille Ball. Most people familiar with Ricardo's demand for an explanation wouldn't remember hearing the words when the show first aired, but rather in a rerun, something pioneered by the show. To honor the musician, actor and TV trailblazer behind those iconic words, Googlean Saturday dedicated an animated doodle to Arnaz, who was born 102 years ago. Desiderio Alberto Arnaz III was born in Santiago, Cuba, on March 2, 1917, and fled to the US after the 1933 Cuban Revolution. Arnaz, who became an entertainer to support himself, caught his big break when the 1939 Broadway production of Too Many Girls he was starring in was adapted for the silver screen with him was led. It's also where he met Ball, a dramatic and comedic actress who'd become his co-star in the movie, as well as his wife and lifelong friend. Together, they pitched CBS on the idea of a show based on the daily home escapades of a middle-class housewife and her Cuban bandleader husband in New York. But CBS executives were reluctant, thinking the perceived juxtaposition of a man of Latin heritage being paired with an all-American girl type wouldn't appeal to the American TV audience. Disclosure: CBS is the parent company of CNET. Arnaz and Ball proved them wrong. The half-hour I Love Lucy was the most popular show on TV for 4 of its 6 seasons. When the series ended in 1957, it did so at the top of the Nielsen ratings, a first equaled only by The Andy Griffith Show and Seinfeld. Arnaz's Ricky played the quintessential comedic straight man to Lucy, who's remembered for such hijinks as taking a job at a candy factory, stomping grapes in an Italian vineyard and even co-starring with Harpo Marx. The show broke new ground with its ensemble cast and use of 3 cameras, a technique that's become a standard for sitcoms filmed before a live studio audience. When it was discovered that Ball was pregnant during the series' 2nd season, making her unable to fulfill her 39-episode commitment, the show's producers opted to rebroadcast popular episodes from the 1st season, essentially giving birth to the rerun and the profitable syndication market. Generations have watched I Love Lucy and reruns during the past 6 decades. The show has been syndicated into dozens of languages around the world and was voted Best TV Show of All Time in a 2012 survey conducted by ABC News and People magazine. Arnaz never received an Emmy nomination for his performance on I Love Lucy, but he got a Golden Globe in 1956 for Best Television Achievement for his work on the show. He also has 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He died in 1986 at the age of 69.